We welcome in Paul Finebaum. Paul, as you got this news about Urban Meyer apologizing to Courtney Smith, what was your initial reaction?
My reaction was it was just a cheap PR stunt from a desperate man, Laura. The opportunity to apologize was the other night, not today. And if you are going to apologize, do it like a man. Stand up, answer questions, and don't hide behind a statement. This is now the second or third time that he has done this in a matter of weeks. 3 weeks ago tonight, Laura, he issued his apology or clarification to Buckeye Nation. At the time, he apologized for lying, although that wasn't the word he used. Well, if he cared so much about domestic violence, and if he cared so much about Courtney Smith, then why didn't he apologize then? Okay, so let's move to the other night. So 3 weeks have passed. This committee investigates and finds that he has been misleading. He has memory loss. If he cared so much, why didn't he apologize at that point? The only reason he is apologizing is because the media has excoriated him for his performance the other night. And not only that, Buckeye fans have. This is just a political trick by Urban Meyer to try to win back not me, not people that have written columns or appeared on this network or others. He's trying to win back his base. I know this sounds political, but that's the part that he is most concerned about. Buckeye fans, reasonable Buckeye fans, were starting to bail on him.
Yeah, Paul, you mentioned the reaction to what happened at the press conference on Wednesday, and you're saying that it would have been better if he had handled this more like a man with this statement. Why do you think if people would have seen Urban Meyer say this, that would have made a better difference or maybe made this apology mean more?
Well, Laura, that was the opportunity. That was where he was being punished by the school, and that's when I said like a man, that he would have walked up there and said, listen, I accept the penalty, but I also have this to say. That would have been a natural reaction, or even if he had read it, it would have been okay. But to me, he's hiding behind a statement that clearly he didn't write. I know Urban Meyer. This doesn't sound like him. And this was written by a lawyer. This was written by a PR specialist. And like Heather said, had he done it the other night, I believe he would have put some of this to bed. He wouldn't have covered up the lies. He wouldn't have covered up all the deception that you see in this report. I mean, this is the same man who the first thing he wanted to talk about after learning about Brett McMurphy's report was, can I delete my text messages from a year out? That's not really what I would call an honest man. That's someone who is trying to deceive. So what he wants to do is put this out here tonight. And yeah, maybe as Heather said, it's better that he did it than had he never done it. But he'll start getting reaction from people who are reasonable. They'll go, well, he apologized. Well, what has he said and what has he done other than issuing a hollow piece of paper?
There's been a lot of conversation, Paul, about Urban Meyer's legacy through all of this. When you see this apology to Courtney Smith, where does that factor into the legacy conversation?
Well, certainly it's hard to determine that until it's over. Listen, I think we're all believers in second chances, and if his career takes a different path, and if he is sincere, then his legacy perhaps can be saved. But I'm not confident of that right now. I think way too much damage has been done at Ohio State. Laura, you saw the body language the other night. I mean, his boss sitting right next to him. I mean, there was no communication. There was no conversation between them. The president was one seat over. He tried to put his hand around Urban, but most people know that they were arguing and debating all day long because the president wanted to suspend Urban Meyer, and Urban Meyer was fighting it. So it's hard for me to believe that even with the statement, and he can stand on the tallest building in Columbus, Ohio, and do more of this mea culpa, but I don't think you can walk back what has transpired and what many around the country have seen in this man. He's really fortunate to have his job today, and I think I still haven't seen an ounce of remorse from him in any way, shape, or form.